Hey crafty people, it's Tasha. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to be guest designing for Catherine Pooler and using some of her latest release. So I have the Space Star themed bundle. Love it. And you're going to see loads of projects from me over the next couple of weeks. So I just love this stamp and die set. And it is called Stargazing. That's it, the Stargazing stamp and coordinating die. So I'm going to put all of the images from that into my MISTI. I'm going to stamp them onto some watercolour cardstock, but it's the smooth side. So I'm just prepping all of my stamps as I usually would. Then I've grabbed out, this is Dress Blues, so it's a lovely deep navy. And I'm going to add that to the two moon images and stamp those down onto my cardstock. And then I'm going to add some clear embossing powder. Now, yes, Catherine Pooler inks, you can emboss with them because they stay wet for longer, so they will grab onto that embossing powder, but you do have to be quick. So I'm just chucking lots of clear powder over the images and give it a good tap and shake off, and then I'm going to heat set. As it melts, that you get that shine and that brilliant blue colour shines through. So next I'm going to stamp out the rest of the images that are all mainly stars, shooting stars, that kind of thing. I'm going to stamp all of those with glitz. That's a lovely vibrant yellow, orange, amber colour. It's beautiful. So I'm stamping all of those down, pressing down to make sure I've got a really good transfer of ink, and then again I'm going to chuck some clear embossing powder over the top, and then we will heat set that. And then to colour these images today, I'm going to be doing a bit of a watercolour cheat hack. So I first saw this from Catherine Pooler, her video of herself, or possibly one of the lives, can't remember, but yeah, Catherine using this technique and I loved it, and I wanted to share it with you all. It's like a really super easy, quick hack to do faux watercolouring with Catherine's inks. So I'm going to grab out a craft mat just to protect my desk, and then I'm going to grab the same ink. So first up we have Dress Blues, and I've just sort of tapped the ink pad onto the inside of the lid so that it's not going to waste any ink that way. And then I'm grabbing, these are Tombow, the dual brush pens, but just the clear blending one, and I'm going to use that to touch directly to that ink in the lid there and take that colour to my images and paint with it. It's brilliant. So I add a small area of the concentrated blue, and then when I want to clear that brush off, I can either swipe it on the craft mat and that will take some of the ink off, or you can just scribble it onto the, like there, I've scribbled it onto the corner of my cardstock, and that will take off all of that pigment, and you'll be back to having like a clear pen. Now, the tip will stain, but I don't mind that, and the colour doesn't stay forever. It just, like, the pigment won't transfer, but it stains. So I've just got a couple of pens here that I'm using. So I've got one for the blue and one for the yellow, because I didn't want to cross-contaminate them too much. So to get a really light colour that I can use just to add some little bits of shading to the outside of the moon, just to make it look a little bit more circular, I'm going to touch my pen really lightly to that ink, and then I might even swipe some off onto the craft mat or my cardstock, and then just take that little bit of colour that's left and add that to the outside of the moon, and that's going to just give it that rounded appearance, and just brings it a bit more 3D. So I'm going to do the same for all of these images. I have kept in all the painting, but I have sped it up because you don't want to watch it at normal speed. But it is so easy and quick, and I think it's a great way to do watercolouring without needing water, without needing loads and loads of different things. You can just take your favourite Catherine Pooler colours and a couple of these brush pens and watercolour to your heart's content. I love it. I think it's brilliant, and it's so easy to take out and about with you as well. So I coloured in all of the little star images, and like whilst I was doing this, my daughters and my nephew were playing, my mum was there, and I'm just chatting away with everybody whilst I'm doing this and getting all these images coloured and ready to make my cards. So I did do a bit of an ombre between the blue and the yellow for the tails of those shooting stars, and then I decided to add just a little bit of yellow to the moons themselves. So I did swap to the other pen, and then I just added a little bit of yellow here and there, and I feel like that really made them pop. Like, it warmed them up, makes them feel I just think that really did make a difference, and I'm really glad that I did that. I was a bit nervous whether to do it or not. I didn't want to ruin all the work that I'd already done, but yeah, I love how they turned out. I'm going to use a bit of washi to tape all of the coordinating dies and cut those out, and I'm going to set them to the side and work on our backgrounds. So this is some just cardstock that I've got embossed with one of the powders that I designed for a while. It's called Grey Sky at Night. So it's beautiful greys and silvers, and I thought that these would work brilliantly for the theme of these stamp sets. So I cut just 2 random pieces and attached that to some A2 2 A2 panels, and then I've stamped a sentiment on each of them, and that sentiment is just from the same stamp set, the Stargazing. And then I'm just going to decide where to add all of my different elements. So I decided to add some foam tape to the back of most of them, but not all of them, and then I'm going to just glue them in place. I do like to move things around a bit first. I call it auditioning. I'm auditioning the different items in different places to see where I want to put them, and then I have put them up on some foam tape, and I'm going to stick them into place, and I love it. I wasn't sure whether I'd use all of those images for these 2 cards, but I did, because I just really loved adding them, and I just kept adding and adding, and yeah, I love them. The sentiment and those extra little stars are stamped in Midnight from Catherine Pooler, and then as you can see here, like these little bits, I'm going to add those with glue, partially because I wanted different heights to give a different dimension and interest to it, but also because I didn't want to cut the foam tape down that small for those pieces. And then I'm adding some sequins. These are from the brand new sequin mix that is part of this release, and it's beautiful. There's different blues and teals, and there's some stars in there, some little clear beads. They're really, really pretty. So I just added a few of those here and there wherever I thought that they would look nice, and that's that for these cards. Let me know what you think and what you think of the new release, and yeah, I hope that you like the cards. I'm super excited to be joining Catherine for this release as a guest designer, and yeah, very grateful and excited. I hope that you have a lovely, happy, safe and wonderful week. Oh, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I'm getting close to 1,000 and it would mean the world to me to hit that. I'm close to 1,000 here and also on TikTok, so I'm interested to see which one I'm going to hit first. I think I might have already said it, but I hope that you do have a lovely, happy, safe and wonderful week. Stay crafty. Bye!